Good morning. Today is Monday, November 25th. I'm Lillian Govis, Buncombe County Director of Communications and Public Engagement. This week, we will have briefings through Wednesday, but there will be no briefings on Thursday or Friday, so our staff can have time to be with friends, family, loved ones, and also volunteer in our community. Before we get started today, I do want to address some misinformation that's being spread on social media. This post over the weekend I saw is making its rounds. The person making this post falsely claims that the county will not allow tiny homes in Barnardsville. I say person loosely because this account was not created all that long ago, or was not created all that long ago. So here's what's actually happening. These were not tiny homes, but actually sheds like the one that I have in my backyard where I store my gardening supplies. North Carolina Building Code says that homes, even temporary ones, must have a bathroom, be anchored, and have a heat source that is not cord and plug connected. So a space heater is not an appropriate heat source in any of these temporary structures. Anyone can access and review these building codes at www.ncosfm.gov. Now that's the North Carolina Office of the State Fire Marshal, NCOSFM. That's where these regulations are, and we have to comply with those. So what this post claims about us not allowing tiny homes is 100% not factual, and we're not even certain that the person who posted this is a real person. Our county inspectors have not done any site inspections that have shut these things down. Now, on November 19th, what is true, less than a week ago, Buncombe County Commissioners adopted changes to the zoning ordinance to allow for emergency housing in response to Tropical Storm Helene. So, quick overview, but you'll also see this information in the chat. So it defines what is emergency housing. So emergency housing is a travel trailer, a manufactured home, building code compliant habitable structure, or other FEMA approved shelter. It is temporary, and it's also needed due to a declared federal, state, or local disaster. Of course, we are still under that local state of emergency. There is also a federal declaration in place. So who qualifies for this emergency housing? It is someone who is experiencing homelessness or inadequate shelter from disaster-related damages, or someone who is assisting with disaster recovery efforts through a government, agency, nonprofit, or company. So these temporary emergency homes are allowed in all zoning districts in Buncombe County's unincorporated areas. They are not required to be on the same lot as a damaged home, but it's important to note that locations in the city of Asheville or in any of our municipalities may have different requirements. So if you are in one of those municipalities, you need to check with those local regulations there. These temporary emergency homes are also not allowed in floodways, and that's important. I saw a Fox News story on Friday, I know a lot of people have, that said the government is not allowing these structures in floodways. That's correct. Our community has experienced enough loss and devastation in the wake of this storm, and it would be absolutely reckless and irresponsible to put our residents in harm's way again. So like we shared previously about misinformation, this takes valuable time away from recovering and rebuilding from this storm. We know it's not just bad information, but we've also seen posts from individuals asking for donations to help their work on the ground. And we cannot encourage you enough. If you are going to make financial contributions, only do so to those well-established, reputable charities and organizations with a proven track record of disaster relief, local community foundations, or other recognized nonprofits operating in the affected area. Avoid donating to newly formed or unknown organizations that may not effectively distribute aid. Check if that organization is registered and actively working in the disaster zone. And we can't say strongly enough to watch out for scams. Don't give personal information or donate to organizations claiming to be affiliated with even FEMA when we know that they're not. So with that, today we will be joined by the City of Asheville, Steve Roscovius with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and Matt Baker with the county's Strategy and Innovation Department to share our new financial dashboard. With that, I will turn things over, as we always do, to County Manager Avril Pender.
Good morning. As we head into the holidays this week, Buncombe County government offices will be closed November 28th to the 29th. The county remains on a state of emergency, and some services like community showers, debris collection, and solid waste collection will have altered hours. The courthouse, health and human services, and libraries will be closed on Thursday and Friday. Visit buncombecounty.org to see a full list of closures. Community care stations and water distribution sites will be closed on Thursday for the holiday, but will reopen on Friday. Important changes come into both community care stations and water distribution sites. At the end of the day on December 2nd, all water distribution sites and community care stations in both the city and county will close, with the exception of 4 community care stations in the most impacted communities: Morgan Hill Baptist Church at 594 Barnersville Highway, Bethel United Methodist at 1050 Riceville Road, Owen Pool at 117 Stone Drive in Swannanoa, and Fairview Ingalls at 225 Charlotte Highway by the Reynolds High. An update on storm debris removal. Buncombe County property owners in unincorporated areas and in cities impacted by Hurricane Helene who do not have debris removal insurance may apply to have qualified disaster debris removed from their property at no cost through the private property debris removal, what you will hear as PPDR program. The program also covers the demolition of eligible unsafe structures. Here are 3 things to know about private property debris removal. You can visit one of our private property debris removal application centers to find out if you're eligible. They're located at the Asheville Mall, Barnersville Fire Department, Swannanoa Fire on Beachy Road, and Fairview Library. You can also apply online at www.buncombeready.org and select Helene debris removal. Private property debris removal is different than debris collections on public right-of-ways. Private property debris removal is where crews have to enter a property to collect debris. An example of this would be like if flooding occurred and carried a shed or trees into your backyard and you cannot get it to the right-of-way. An update on debris. As of this morning, there are 45 trucks running in Buncombe County, removing debris from all county zones. This is a significant lift, but a reminder that Helene created an estimated 10 million cubic yards of debris in and throughout Buncombe County. Debris removal will be a lengthy process, and we appreciate everyone's collaboration as we begin to clean up our homes and communities. For more information on private property debris removal and other debris questions, call the One Buncombe hotline at 828-250-6100 and select option 2. A reminder from Asheville Buncombe Rebuilding Together Grant Fund. A few days are left to apply for the Asheville Buncombe Community Rebuilding Together Grant. For-profit businesses in Buncombe County and the City of Asheville are eligible to receive grants of up to $25,000 to support recovery expenses not covered by insurance or other funding sources. Applications are open through Wednesday, November 27th, and can be found at mountainbizworks.org/abgrants. Applications are also available in Spanish. A short update on FEMA and FEMA hours. Starting today, in-person FEMA application assistance is open at the Asheville Mall from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays, and on Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And they will be closed on Sundays. For the holiday, the center will be closed on Thursday through Sunday. A reminder that the deadline to apply for FEMA assistance is January the 7th. So visit the Asheville Mall or apply at disasterassistance.gov. For our normal trash collection and recycling pickup, Vatesboro will operate normal routes for household trash and recycling today on Monday, November 25th, and on Tuesday, November 26th. Residents should use the transfer station or landfill if Vatesboro is unable to access them. But please note, the landfill and transfer station will be closed on Thursday. They will reopen on Friday. On Wednesday, Vatesboro would operate normal routes in accessible locations. There'll be no trash pickup on Thursday, and pickup locations will be pushed back one day. So on Friday, trash pickup will be in Fairview and Arden, and on Saturday, trash pickup will be in Weaverville and Barnersville. Bag trash drop-off can be made from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Wednesday, Hearts with Hands. Friday, Ingalls, Fairview, and Saturday, North Buncombe Pool until 1 p.m. And now I'll turn it over to my counterpart, Deborah Campbell, City of Asheville City Manager.
Thank you, Avril, and good morning. My name is Deborah Campbell, and as stated, I serve as the City Manager, City of Asheville. As usual, I want to start by thanking everyone in the community for your continued support and your ongoing efforts to contribute to our community's recovery from Tropical Storm Helene. We are on day 61 of our emergency response and recovery efforts. But before I provide information about our updates, I want to take a moment to thank all who planned or attended this weekend's holiday jamboree at Pack Square Park. It was certainly a different event than our usual holiday parade, but it was a wonderful gathering all the same. Many thanks to our sponsor, Bojangles, the Asheville Downtown Association, for producing the event, and all the incredible staff, volunteers, and community members who made this weekend's holiday jamboree a memorable event. And yes, it was really cold and breezy, but seeing those who performed, the kids jumping around and dancing, people singing and laughing, truly warmed my heart. The jamboree was a true demonstration of our community's resilience. Now our updates. As previously stated, staff is continuing to organize our recovery efforts in these focus areas: housing, storm debris, economic recovery, water recovery, infrastructure, natural and cultural resources. You may have heard in the past, we called it arts and cultural, and now we're calling it natural and cultural resources. And functional support, which includes cost recovery, community capacity building, administrative support, data, and communication. On Thursday, December 5th at 11 a.m., staff will use a portion of the City Council agenda briefing to share high-level details on our data collection and communication efforts around these focus areas. The briefing will be virtual and streamed on the city's YouTube channel, which is available on the front page of the city's website at asheville.nc.gov. Additionally, plans are currently underway for the December 10th City Council Recovery Work Session. The work session is scheduled to begin at 3 p.m. and will be a facilitated meeting focused on long-term recovery planning. More information will be shared as we get closer to the date. This morning, we will be joined by Steve Waskovius with the Army Corps of Engineers to share an update on their project. They will be followed by an update from our Parks and Recreation Director, D. Tyrell McGarrett, who will provide an update on our parks and other services that open or will be reopening. Lastly, and as usual, I will conclude with updates on water and meal distribution, transit and parking fares, storm debris removal, and an update on our rental assistance programs. Now I will turn it over to Steve. I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name again, with the Army Corps of Engineers to provide an update on the water project in Norfolk Dale. Thank you, Steve.
Good morning. We're here this morning to provide an update on our efforts to support the city of Asheville and Buncombe County regarding potable water. We currently have 3 ongoing projects within the region that will ensure resiliency and reliability of potable water. While these projects are temporary in scope, we plan to continue their operations until the city of Asheville and FEMA determine these systems are no longer needed. The primary projects are turbidity reduction at both the North Fork and Bee Tree reservoirs. The work is ongoing. We plan to have both operational in the next couple of weeks. These systems will remove the sediment from the water and then provide that cleaned water back into the existing water treatment centers. And again, these systems are to help ensure resiliency and reliability of your potable water systems. The third project that is currently fully operational is the water treatment site at the University of North Carolina, Asheville. And that system is tentatively scheduled to be removed around the middle of December. I'd like to conclude by saying this has truly been a team effort from the Asheville Water Resources Department and city staff to Buncombe County staff and FEMA. We have been solely focused on ensuring the community has safe drinking water as they continue their recovery process following Hurricane Helene. Thank you.
Morning, I'm D. Tyrell McGirt, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Parks and Recreation Director with the City of Asheville. I'm happy to provide some information about the city's parks. We're pretty fortunate to live in a community that supports parks, greenways, community centers, and access to recreation programs for all that live here. To give you an idea of the scale of damage experienced, we got some pictures here of some of our riverfront recreation areas before and after Tropical Storm Helene. This is French Broad River Park, the playground at Carrier Park, the French Broad River Greenway, and Elmboy River Park. Riverfront parks were the hardest hit with massive destruction left by this unprecedented event. These park spaces are devastated, but as a park user myself, I'm encouraged by the prospect to rebuild smarter, stronger, and in ways that make our city more resilient in the face of these natural disasters such as floods. While parks serves a variety of needs like sporting leagues, exercise, connecting friends, and more, there are also adaptable infrastructure that makes our community stronger and preserves the unique culture and natural beauty of the place we all call home. Next slide. Our team has been working hard since the storm to safely welcome you all back to your favorite parks and greenways. The vast majority of the parks and community centers are open, though some still have minor damage such as debris or down fencing that should be remediated soon. A full list of fully opened, partially opened, and fully closed parks is available at asheville.gov/parks. 11 parks and greenways are fully closed because they are unsafe and are off limits to the public. The City of Asheville's recovery support groups continue to inspect and document safety concerns and damages in parks for FEMA review. So it is imperative that community members stay out of these closed areas to allow this process to take place. Next slide. As you saw in the previous slide, 13 parks are partially open, which means some areas have downed trees, damaged structures and fencing, or other areas deemed unsafe. For example, trails in Richmond Hill Park the section of French Broad River Greenway that runs through French Broad River Park, and multiple trees are down in sections of Aston Park. Mowing, trash collection, and other essential services are still taking place in some of these areas that are open. As resources become available, these parks will fully reopen. I would like to mention that resources are a bit more challenging for us as Asheville's Parks and Recreation Maintenance Facility was decimated during the storm. If you see our colorful passenger vehicles in the community, it is more likely shuttling crew members to parks instead of taking after-school kids or seniors on the normal field trips. Again, a full list of fully opened, partially opened, and fully closed parks is available at asheville.nc.gov/parks. Next slide. Now for some exciting news. In the next few days, Riverbend Park in East Asheville will fully reopen. This park is located on the banks of the Swannanoa River that includes a paved section of the Swannanoa River Greenway. The east side of Carrier Park will also reopen. This includes natural green space area, a picnic shelter, and the parking lot. We will also have porta johns that would be available along the greenway near the shelter. The entire section of the French Broad River Greenway that runs through Carrier Park will also be open. So you will also be able to access the greenway between Amboy River Park through Carrier Park to Harmony Creek River Park. The west side of Carrier Park, with the exception of the French Broad River Greenway, however, will remain closed as it saw substantial damage. Basketball courts, lawn bowling, multi-purpose fields, sand volleyball courts, restroom, the skating rink, and the velodrome will remain closed and off limits at this time. Some trails and disc golf baskets will also reopen at Richmond Hill Park, along with the picnic shelter and restroom facility. Asheville Parks and Recreation is working with two of our longtime community partners, Pisgah Area SOBA and Western North Carolina Disc Golf Association, to reopen more spaces. These groups and other community partners, such as Friends of Harmony Creek Greenway, the Asheville Greenworks, have been instrumental in organizing volunteers to work with our crews and contractors to safely reopen parks and recreation spaces with approved plans, insurance, and other strict requirements necessary to ensure area are safe for everyone in the community to enjoy. Next slide. Over the next 30 to 60 days, we're looking at opportunities to implement temporary solutions for restrooms at Carrier Park along the Greenway, dog parks, the skating rink, and sand volleyball courts. We will have an update on this progress by January 31st. As mentioned, most damaged park facilities will be closed for a longer period of time. Riverside Cemetery is currently closed and is being assessed for damages in coordination with FEMA and according to guidelines of the National Register of Historic Places. Next slide. Other facilities that remain closed for the unforeseeable future include Azalea Park and JBL Soccer Complex, Carrier Park, the west side of the park, French Broad River Park, Recreation Park, and the River Art District recreation areas that include the Craven Street Bridge boat access, Gene Webb Park, River Arts Place, and portions of the Wilma Dykeman Greenway. We will continue to search for a permanent facility for our park maintenance operations, and we will integrate the recommendations from Recreate Asheville, our 10-year comprehensive parks and recreation plan, in the recovery efforts. Next slide. As Thanksgiving approaches and we enter the season of hope and joy, our recreation team has many festive events to bring us together as friends and neighbors. Our annual Holly Jolly Holidays series features heartwarming traditions and celebrates the mountain spirit that shines brightly in our community all year and help gets us through the past several weeks. Some are listed here, but for a full list of dates, times, and other details, you can find those on our website, again, at asheville.nc.gov/parks. I hope to see many of you as we celebrate Asheville's resilience and unity, and as we continue to recover with the amazing responsibility to rebuild smarter and stronger. And our last slide. This is just a start. To stay in the loop, visit us on Asheville's website. Again, that is asheville.nc.gov/parks. Sign up for our monthly newsletters on our website to get updated program information delivered straight to your inbox, and follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.
All right, now I'll provide an update on water and meal distribution sites in the city of Asheville. As of this morning, our sites have distributed more than 3.7 million bottles and 1 liter cartons of drinking water, 22,389 gallon jugs of potable water, 256,827 gallons of non-potable water, 237,775 meals ready to eat, and almost 2,800 blankets for warmth. As County Manager Avril Pender mentioned, food and water distribution sites within the city of Asheville will be closed on November 28th for Thanksgiving Day. Our distribution sites will reopen on Friday, November 29th from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. However, due mostly to the work the water resources staff have done to restore drinking water, the last day the city distribution sites and community care stations will operate will be Monday, December 2nd. This includes direct delivery. Again, the city's water and meal distribution sites will close at the end of the day on December 2nd at the following locations: Pack Square Park, 70 Court Plaza, Skylanes Bowling Alley, 1477 Patton Avenue, Linwood Crump Shallow Community Center, 121 Shallow Road. This includes the community care stations located at 980 Brevard Road, in the at-home store parking lot, 85 Tunnel Road, in the Innsbrook Mall parking lot. Last Thursday, there were questions raised about the status of free parking, and I said we would follow up and provide updates. On-street parking meters and enforcement will resume starting on Monday, December 2nd, 2024. On December 2nd, you will now have to pay for parking if you park in a metered on-street parking space. However, parking in city-owned and managed garages will continue to be free until the end of the year, with the exception of event parking fees at the Harris Cherokee Center garage. We will resume charging for parking in city-owned garages on January the 2nd, 2025. These garages include Biltmore Avenue Garage, Harris Cherokee Center, Asheville Garage, Rankin Avenue Garage, Wall Street Garage. But until January 2nd, these garages, other than for special events at Harris, are free to park. Also, transit fares will continue to be free until January 2nd, 2025. These changes, I hope you feel, signal a milestone in our recovery efforts as we start to return to some regular operations. I want to send a special thank you to all our parking and transit staff for their dedication and hard work throughout the recovery efforts following Tropical Storm Helene. During the emergency response, transit coordinated with rescue teams to transport over 500 people to safety. Transit also expanded its role beyond regular transit routes by providing rides for those residing in shelters to FEMA resource centers and comfort care stations. Additionally, transit delivered water and supplies to vulnerable neighborhoods. Our debris contractors have collected over 110,000 cubic yards of storm debris. Work is still focused on public right-of-way cleanup, but we also continue to encourage all residents and businesses of Asheville to sort debris appropriately and move storm debris to the curb. Over the weekend, neighbors in West Asheville began to see crews removing storm debris that was temporarily stored at 65 Ford Street. Contractors will continue to remove debris until all is removed from this site. Community safety is our top priority, so please remember that this site is not open to the public. Today, the contractor will have 35 trucks running. The zones will be as follows: 9 in Zone 1, West Asheville; 6 in Zone 2, West Asheville, north of Haywood Road; 6 in Zone 3, downtown; 8 in Zones 4 and 5, which is north and northeast; 4 in Zone 6, which is East Asheville; 2 in Zones 7 and 8, southeast and south Asheville. And there will also be 2 white goods crews. We've received several reports of illegal dumping and kindly ask everyone in the community to follow our storm debris collection guidelines. Contractors are actively collecting all types of debris, including vegetation of any size, appliances, construction and demolition materials, and bulky items. Proper disposal of storm debris and other waste ensures recovery resources are used efficiently and helps maintain progress in the cleanup efforts. We encourage all residents and businesses of Asheville, again, to sort debris appropriately and move storm debris to the curb, and it will be picked up at some point in time. If you see illegal dumping, i.e. random trucks or cars dumping debris and garbage on vacant or undeveloped lots or developed lots, please report it through the Asheville app. The city had previously announced that it was working with Eblin Charities to provide $500,000 in city-funded rental assistance to city residents. Eblin has begun expanding their staff and volunteer base to handle the additional volume and are processing 40 to 50 applications a day. Eblin is working to move as fast as they can while remaining accountable for those funds. At this time, we'd like to share that we are also working with Grace Covenant Presbyterian Church to support their efforts in providing real assistance to our community members. We plan to provide Grace with $250,000 in city funds to make available for rental assistance for low-income families in Asheville. We anticipate that this funding will assist over 110 families and enable them to remain in our community. Grace Covenant is open every day, 12 to 4 p.m. for residents to apply for assistance. I would like to thank our partners who are doing tremendous work to deploy these funds as quickly as possible during this time of community need. In closing, I'd like to express, as I usually do, my heartfelt gratitude to the mayor and city council, all of our dedicated City of Asheville employees, our partners at the county, state, and federal levels, as well as our private and nonprofit collaborators. We have a long way to go, but we are making steady progress, and we will build back better. Lillian?
Next, we've got Matt Baker with our Buncombe County Strategy and Innovation Department to share with you about a new financial transparency dashboard.
Thank you, Lillian. I'm Matt Baker with Buncombe County Strategy and Innovation, and in collaboration with Buncombe County Finance Department, we have put together this dashboard to further our commitment to public transparency, particularly around Hurricane Helene. This dashboard is similar in design to our open checkbook dashboard, and both of them can be found at buncombecounty.org/transparency. This particular dashboard is divided into two sections: actuals and obligations. Actuals being expenses that have been paid, and obligations being expenses that will be paid. The actuals side of this dashboard is fully searchable. You're able to see not only the amounts, but also who those amounts are going to. In addition, some information on how we categorize those things and related dates. You can also see those expenses tracked over time, and many of the visuals are interactive. Flipping to the obligation side, the obligation side has somewhat less information. That is due to the nature of obligations. They are more fluid, as those are expenses that have not yet been fully realized in the county's ledger. So there is still, however, the amount and the organization that amount will be going to. Altogether, actuals and obligations equal just over $26.5 million in Helene-related financial obligations. This dashboard does update monthly as of right now, and is available on our site as of an hour ago. Thank you.
I know there are a lot of questions about reimbursements, and the county does seek to be reimbursed for the expenses that you see on that dashboard. With that, we will turn things over to questions from the media who are joining us on a separate Zoom call, if there are any. Blue Ridge Public Radio, John Boyle.
Hey Lillian, it's Laura.
Hey.
Yeah, you knew that happened. So I just want to make sure that we're clear on what you're saying about the misinformation and placing those temporary homes. And the reason I'm asking this is that there was a letter from Senators Budd and Tillis and Representatives Edwards and Fox advocating for the ability to put these homes in special flood hazard areas. I think I heard you say that this county considers that irresponsible, and I've already forgotten the word that you used, reckless.
So there's a difference between a floodplain and a floodway, and that is important when it comes to regulations. So we are making sure that these are not in floodways to prevent them from being in harm's way should we experience even, it doesn't even have to be a storm as significant as what we experienced back in September.
Okay, so the county is not in opposition to them putting them in that sort of next layer of what might potentially flood.
That is correct.
Great, thank you.
There may be additional requirements like elevating that structure to prevent it, but there are ways to work with it, right? It's not a hard no, period. Do you have any questions in the chat, Angelica? No questions in the chat. Quiet Monday. All right. So with that, again, our briefing schedule, we will have briefings on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. We will not have briefings the rest of the week. We'll be back next week. We do have a board meeting on Monday of next week rather than our usual Tuesday schedule. So that's important. If folks have Helene related questions, you can call the One Buncombe call center, which is open this week from Monday to Wednesday from 9 to 5. That phone number is 250. Course, area code 828-250-6100, and you can press 2 for debris. Before we go, we know that we've shared, if you're a current Waste Pro subscriber, you need to sign up for service with FCC Environmental in order to have your trash and recycling picked up after January 1st. New carts are going to start being delivered next week. Again, I shared my excitement over them being all one color. And so we have a short little video to share just about that transition that our folks on our staff have put together.
People usually just roll me out, then walk right on by. Just another can on the curb. But today, I need your help. Now, you might be wondering, how can I help a talking trash can? Well, let me explain. Starting January 1st, FCC Environmental will be handling trash and recycling for unincorporated Buncombe County. But if you don't sign up, I'll be left out here alone. So grab your phone, go to fccenvironmental.com/Buncombe and sign up. I do it myself, but, well, I don't have hands. Help me help you keep Buncombe County beautiful. Current Waste Pro subscribers, you need to sign up to continue trash service after January 1st. Don't miss a pickup. Sign up now at fccenvironmental.com/Buncombe.
Thank you very much. Thanks to our team who put that together. So go to FCC Environmental/Buncombe, get signed up if you're a current Waste Pro subscriber. Let's make sure you have service in the new year. A few housekeeping things before we close out. Want to make sure folks know we are currently at over 300,000 cubic yards of debris collected in Buncombe County. Of course, we're getting to that closer toward that goal of 10 million altogether. Two Buncombe County parks remain closed. Owen Park, it is not safe to access Owen Park. Owen Park remains closed. Lake Julian will be closed until next Monday, a week from today. Of course, we're getting ready for the Festival of Lights there, and so we really want to be able to provide that to our community. So Owen Park and Lake Julian Park remain closed. And finally, we just got word that some of the hot meals at our community care stations today may be delayed by a couple hours. We're very sorry for that. So if you're heading to one of our community care stations for a hot meal, just know that it may be delayed, and we will get those out there as soon as possible. With that, we will close things out. We will be joined back here tomorrow. We have the Department of Transportation, North Carolina Department of Transportation, joining us tomorrow for an update on what they're doing, and we will look forward to hearing from them. We will see you Tuesday at 11 a.m.